Titanfall 3 could be revealed in the very near future.
We've heard countless rumours about Titanfall 3, but what actually are the chances of a third Titanfall? Let's rewind to 2014. Respawn Entertainment burst onto the scene with Titanfall 1, a game that brought something entirely new to the FPS genre: wall running, double jumping, calling down massive titans.
And do you know what else is massive?
Sorry, wrong clip. Titanfall was a multiplayer only experience that felt years ahead of its time, but it faced its fair share of challenges, including a lack of content and no single player campaign. It still set the stage for something incredible. Then came Titanfall 2 in 2016 and Respawn went all in. They delivered one of the greatest FPS campaigns ever, and the multiplayer? Well.
Started out riding Batman with the geeches when that shit didn't work, talk to pop about the chicken. All of them talking my badass, still ain't listen was living, but taught me the ways of that kitchen. Don't need me a pot, I can microwave with it. I bang the high seat just like a Christian. Went from that city to the spot, now we living, still running their mouth, they gon' die about the mention. They bitches and most of them not from a trench. Come to my block, come and see how we living. We chillin' with Glocks and they all got extensions. Moved to the north cause I seen they was winning. Go ask about it, got a spot, had to spin it. I went from bottom to clutch in the center.
But just as Titanfall 2 was ready to soar, it was grounded. Released between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, it was crushed under the weight of bad timing and poor marketing. Despite the glowing reviews, sales were underwhelming and they didn't provide the profit that Respawn wanted. The player base struggled to grow, and the game was plagued by DDoS attacks in the later years, which Respawn has still struggled to mitigate after a long time. Now, we all know Apex Legends brought many of the things that we love from Titanfall: the fast movement, the unique abilities, and the rich sci-fi setting, but it left behind the Titans much of what made Titanfall's gameplay truly unique. And yet, it worked, and it worked well. Apex Legends became a juggernaut in the gaming world, amassing millions of players and securing Respawn's future. It was a massive win for both Respawn and EA, but it came at a cost at development resources. They were now laser focused on Apex, keeping it fresh, leaving little room for a Titanfall sequel. But here's where things start to get complicated. Over the years, Apex Legends has experienced its own challenges, from player numbers starting to dwindle recently, with many fans citing frustration over the unstable gameplay, slow updates and balance issues. The Battle Royale space is more crowded than ever, and some of Apex's biggest streamers have moved on to other games. It's not the unstoppable force that it once was, and that's starting to show. Despite its challenges, Apex remains a financial success. EA is very unlikely to risk diverting resources to a Titanfall 3 when Apex still brings in consistent revenue, even if it's not as dominant as it used to be. A point little covered in this conversation is the sheer complexity of Titanfall's mechanics. The blend of pilot movement, Titan gameplay and intricate maps is very hard to replicate, and it's also a balancing nightmare. Respawn will need to innovate on top of what already exists, and let's be real, they're stretched thin between Apex updates and Jedi games. There's no room to build the Titanfall sequel that we deserve. Adding to this challenge is the leaks and whispers we've seen over the years. Do you remember when Respawn was rumoured to be working on a new Titanfall universe game? That they said it wasn't Titanfall 3, but it was supposed to expand on the lore and introduce new gameplay elements. Reports suggested it would focus on a single player experience with connections to Apex and Titanfall. Unfortunately, the project was cancelled earlier in this year, leaving fans wondering on what could have been. The cancellation of this Titanfall universe game highlights how cautious Respawn has become. They're not willing to gamble resources on risky projects, even if it's something that the community has been asking for. Instead, they're sticking to what's safe: Apex updates and blockbuster titles like Star Wars. This leaves Titanfall in a tough spot. Creating a game with the complexity of Titanfall is a monumentous task, and Respawn will need to innovate on a level that sits above a new standard for FPS games. Right now, it just does not seem that EA and Respawn are ready to take that leap. EA and Respawn know we want Titanfall 3. They've heard us. #SaveTitanfall has trended countless of times, and the community has fought to keep the dream alive. But at the end of the day, our passion isn't enough to shift corporate priorities. Respawn's Vince Zampella has hinted on the love for the franchise, but even he's been cautious on committing to anything. The translation to this? Respawn and EA are playing it safe. Adding to this frustration, Titanfall community has been burned by fake leaks and misleading videos over the years. We've seen countless YouTube uploads and tweets claiming Titanfall 3 confirmed or leaked Titanfall 3 gameplay, only for it to be debunked shortly after. Some of these were outright hoaxes, while others stemmed from wishful thinking or misinformation, and each time the hope builds up only to be shattered when the truth comes out. It's an emotional rollercoaster that has left many of us Titanfall fans jaded, and even some of the more credible seeming leaks turned out to be related to other projects entirely. For instance, some assets that surfaced online were tied to Apex Legends or the cancelled Titanfall universe game. The cycle of hype and disappointment has worn on the community, making it harder to trust any new rumours that actually emerge. So does this mean that we'll never see another Titanfall game? Not necessarily. There's a minute chance of EA to bring a Titanfall 3, but in my opinion I don't see this happening ever. The old developers of the Titanfall franchise have almost all left EA and Respawn, and a third installment will need an insane amount of money and time invested into it, and this is something EA will not do. Their shareholders want profit, not games close to people's hearts. And the hard truth is that Titanfall 3 will not bring the profit that EA needs. Personally, I think we should enjoy Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2 because they're incredible games and we still have them in a working condition. And we need to stop listening and believing to the silly Titanfall 3 leaks that simply have no backing to them, because it's just going to be an endless cycle of hype and then disappointment afterwards. Realistically, to end this video on a yes or no, I don't think we'll ever get a Titanfall 3, and I'd be very, very surprised if we do. I appreciate you all watching this far. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Do you disagree with me or do you agree? Do we think we're going to get a third installment for the franchise? Other than that, happy Christmas and have a happy new year, and I appreciate you all watching and have a good one.